Hey everyone, welcome back to part two of service. I'm excited to get back here, and man, I would just love to hear how this week went as you were serving others, as you were helping others around your house. I don't know what you did. Maybe some of you volunteered to wash the dishes or to take out the trash, to walk the dog. Maybe you took someone out to eat or you paid for their food, or I don't know what you may have done. But if you don't mind, just comment below and let me know how it went, just so we can kind of see what's been going on. What have you been doing? How have you been serving others? And how have you taken this challenge of the idea that God gave, right? The idea that God is a God that gives, and He changes our hearts to be able to give to others. How does that look in your life, right? And as we move in and to a little deeper of what the mentality of service and where it kind of comes from, we've talked about John 3:16 in the last video, but I do want to go back a little further back to the first book of the Bible, Genesis. And in Genesis 12, there is a promise that God makes to a certain man named Abraham. And in this promise, God is asking this man to trust Him. He says, Abraham, I'm going to take you to a land flowing with milk and honey. Leave this land that you live in, and I will take you there. So Abraham, known as a man of faith, leaves his people, his family, his land, what he's used to, and he goes on this adventure and journey with God. And God fulfills his dreams. And what does He do? God promises these things in Genesis 12. He says, I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. This is God speaking to Abraham. God says, will make your name great. Many people, everyone will know your name. Abraham, you will have an amazing and great and unforgettable name for history. And He says, and you will be a blessing. Very interesting. He says, I will bless you and you will be a blessing. Very good. And it continues and says, I will bless those who curse you, and I will bless those who bless you. And whoever curses you, I will curse. And it says at the end, all peoples on earth, every single person on earth will be blessed through you. Whoa, interesting. So we notice something. God says, I'm going to bless you and you're going to be a blessing. And at the end of the verse, He says, and all people on earth will be blessed through you. Interesting. So this man who is receiving blessings from God will be known as a blessing, and all people will be blessed through him. Yes, now I understand, and you may understand too, that this is a certain moment, a certain context. God is speaking to a man named Abraham, which then becomes the father of a great nation and nations and people groups. But I believe that principle still belongs to us today, where God blesses us so that we can bless others. Right, it goes in line with this idea that God is a God that gives and gives, and this is what God instills in our hearts when He comes in, a desire and a heart that wants to serve others. And so the idea is that we are blessed to bless, that we are to see the things that we receive from God, whether that be health, life, money, food, friends, love, happiness, safety, a house, a home, whatever it is, that all these things we receive are given to us so that we may be able to, in those things and however we are able to do that, to bless others. Isn't that pretty interesting? It reminds me of this. Imagine this illustration that you are on a sinking boat, right? You're rowing your canoe. And all of a sudden, water begins to pour in and pour in. And what happens is, as you're pouring in, if you're in the middle of a lake, you can't get off and you need to kind of get it out. So if you have a bucket in there, in that water, in that canoe, what you're going to do is you're going to start getting that canoe and getting that water and throwing it out, right? And what's very interesting is that as you do that, many times in the movies, you see that someone is getting that bucket, they're going in, they're throwing it out. But it seems that as soon as they're throwing it out, it's already filled up again, and they just got to go faster and faster and faster. And what I want to propose to you is that in the same way, God is willing to bless us abundantly. And the more we give, the more we're able to be poured out upon. And God says, I see you as someone that is trustworthy and that is able to handle the things that I'm able to give you. And so God wants us to live lives that are blessings to others. So many of us walk around and like, look how much God has blessed me. And people are like, man, I wish I had some of that blessing. And could it be that God is waiting on you to help others and bless others? And that is why for this week, last week been talking about serving others in our homes. But now I want to take it a step further and seek someone that you can serve outside of your house. Obviously, it's a little easier to help those that are in your house sometimes. You can wash the dishes, you can mop the floors, you can fold clothes, I don't know. But when you're outside, it's a little harder because you are trying to find what ways can I serve someone else. So whether you're at work, whether you're at school, Whether you're at church, whether you're just walking on the street, you're commuting to work, you're on the subway, you're on the bus, I don't know. But try to find someone that you can serve, someone that you can share something with, and someone that you can give to. And you will see as you begin to do that, it'll become easier and easier. And many times God wants to break that mentality that there are only limited amounts of blessings that God has. The reality is that God is a God that can bless everyone infinitely. And if someone is being blessed, that doesn't mean they're taking away from your blessings. You understand? So that we don't have to operate from a mentality and from the idea that there are only a certain amount of blessings per day that God can give. No, 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 no. God can give abundantly and beyond anything that we can imagine. And so God says, look, just bless others with the blessings that I give you, and I'm going to bless you more. And it's a win-win situation because you're able to bless and help someone else. And at the end of the day, you are also receiving abundant blessings from God. And so I encourage you as you go this week to find someone outside of your house, someone at work, someone at school, someone in your commute to work or to school, someone at your church, anyone in your neighborhood, to just serve, to be able to share with them or to give to them something that God has given to you. And I promise as you do that, you'll be fulfilled and just be filled with what God has given you as blessings and whatnot. So guys, go do that and we'll see you next week. All right. Peace.